Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, all divisions all over the world. Good morning to those in the morning. Good afternoon to all divisions in the afternoon. Good evening to all divisions in the evening, and good night to all divisions in the night. It's 6:32 p.m. Nigerian time today, Thursday, the 2nd of August 2018. I'm very happy to be here once again on another live broadcast. But it's actually 2 days that I did a broadcast last. I wasn't able to come up for live broadcast yesterday because of the exigency of my work assignment. So I'm happy, I'm delighted to be here once again today to on another live broadcast. On Wednesday, on Tuesday, we actually look at one of those major things that you need to go the extra mile in the community. You need to actually do something outside do something outside the normal thing that we do in the community. Anything that will actually help and assist in the growth and the development of the TBC community. You need to actually go extra mile and ensure that this is done. That is one of the major issues that I discussed on in my last broadcast. That today is Thursday, 2nd of August 2018. I'm very happy to be here again on another live broadcast. Today we are actually going to look at one major topic that is very relevant and that is important in the TVC community. What is that, and why is it important to the development, to the growth and development of the TBC community? Why is it important to all divisions in the community? Why is it important for the leaders in the community? Why is it important for the role model that we are looking up to in the community? And why is it important for the TBC admin? This topic that I want to discuss on today is I am very sure and I know that TBC admin is already taking steps in that direction and is doing a lot regarding that topic. The topic is motivation. Motivation. What is motivation? And what are the types of motivation that we have? What are those key elements that is involved in motivation? Motivation is one of the most important factors that can help the growth to help and hasten up the growth and development of the TBC community. What is motivation? Motivation, as we can actually define it, is actually the core to being successful. Is the core, the major factor, one of the major factors of a successful journey, one of the major factors of a successful idea, one of the major five factors of a successful goal. If you want to be successful and you want to actually be successful, you must be motivated. You must be seen as somebody that is motivated. What is motivation? And that's how does it really help in the growth and development or in the achievement of a set target or goal. Motivation is a very key and important word when it comes to development and achievement of goal or success in any given endeavor. What is motivation? Motivation is the core of being successful. It drives passion, gives joy when goals are met, and gives us optimism in the face of what? Failure. That is motivation. It drives passion. It actually brings out that willingness in you, that enthusiasm in you. That is motivation. Motivation brings out what the enthusiasm, the willingness, the readiness in one's attitude. It drives passion. When you have passion, you are actually willing to do more. So it also gives joy when goals are being met. When you meet your goal, It's another that meeting your goal is another motivational factor that gives you joy. It gives you joy and will actually be fully you to actually do more. And it also gives optimism in the face of failure. That means motivation is not only related to success alone, but it's also a factor that gives optimism in the face of failure. So we are actually going to share my screen and read something about motivation so that we can all listen and enjoy it together. I've already divided motivation, and so what we are going to look at is the type of motivation. There are two types of motivation. One, intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. It is important to understand that we are not all the same. Thus, effectively motivating your employees require that you gain an understanding of the different types of motivation. We need to understand that the two different types of motivation. We already mentioned the two types of motivation, which is intrinsic and extrinsic. So such understanding will enable you to better categorize your team members and apply the appropriate type of motivation. You'll find each member different and each member's motivational needs will be varied as well. Some people respond best to intrinsic, which means from within, and will meet any obligation of an area of their passion. Quite the reverse, others will respond better to extrinsic motivation, which, in their word, provide that difficult task, provide provides that difficult tasks can be dealt with, provided there is a reward upon completion of that task. Become an expert in determining which type will work best with with which team member. What we are saying here is there are two types of motivation. There is what we call intrinsic motivation, which is internal, that is within you. That is the urge that is created within you without any external factor that is pushing you. The passion that you have within you will actually give you a kind of urge to move to do better. Intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation means that the individual motivational stimuli are coming from within. There is no factor, there is no external factor. It is just within. It's like something that you are willing to do within yourself without even anybody promising you anything. The individual has the desire to perform a specific task because its results are in accordance with his belief system and fulfill a desire, and therefore importance is attached to it. The essence of an intrinsic motivation is the fact that that person that is actually intrinsically motivated has that motivation, that task is in accordance with his belief system and it fulfills a desire that he has, and therefore importance is attached to it because it is not in line with your belief system and actually fulfills a particular desire that you are looking up to. You will definitely attach importance to it. Our deep rooted desires have the highest motivational power. Our deep rooted desires, because the intrinsic motivation has to do with desires, has to do with internal belief. It has to do with our belief system. This is what I want to be. So that below are some examples that is what we call that some deep-rooted desires have the highest motivational power. Some of these deep-rooted desires is what we call acceptance. We all need to feel that we, as well as our decisions, are accepted by our co-workers. Because you within yourself, you want to be seen and accepted by your co-worker. So if you have something that is motivating you to actually do something to make them accept you, to make your co-worker accept you. There's another one that is actually having a higher motivation, that's curiosity. You don't have the desire to be in the know. You want to know what the desire to know what is happening will actually be a motivational factor for you to find out, for you to always want to find out what and what you have to do to be able to know what. So there's another one that we need to know that is actually the one have the highest motivational power, that is honor. We all need to respect the rules and to be ethical. Independence is also part of it. We all need to feel we are unique. Independence, we all need to feel that we are unique. Other, we all need to be organized. Power, we all have the desire to be able to have influence. Because of the desire to have influence, to gain power, that desire to have influence, to gain power, will motivate you to do something in line with that desire, in line with in line with the aim of achieving that desire. Social contact is always so one of those highest motivational that has one highest motivational power. So we all need to have some social interaction. Social status is also part of what we need to look at. We all have the desire to feel important. In the society, I want to be recognized. In the society, I want people to actually see me as one of the important factors. So definitely, it's just the motivation, that thing, to the need or the desire for social status. We always it's another motivational factor within that intrinsic motivational factor that is propelling individual to actually take to actually do or behave in a way to achieving that motivational cycle. So the second type of motivation is what we call intrinsic motivation. It's just the first one is intrinsic, that is within you, something that there is no attachment rather than what you desire or what you have, what your belief system has. But the other one is explicit motivation, means that the individual motivational stimuli are coming from outside. As it is external. In other words, our desire to perform a task are controlled by an outside source. You have something that you are targeting, you have a promise, you have a deal with somebody to get reward for that particular goal set. So that is what propels that is propelling you to actually do more. So note that even though the stimuli are coming from outside, the result of performing the task will still be rewarding for the individual performing the task. Extrinsic motivation is external in nature. That is the truth. Extrinsic motivation is external because the forces, the propelling factor is actually outside. It is coming from outside. So it is external in nature. The most well known and the most debated motivation is money. Of course, as part of the extrinsic motivational thing is money. But once you know that there is a reward, a monetary reward attached to achieving a particular goal, that monetary reward is a motivational factor that will propel you to want to achieve the goal so that you can have the reward. Another one is the Employee of the Month award. Another benefit package, bonuses, organized activities, those are some of the external motivational factors that is actually associated with intrinsic motivation. That's actually associated with intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic and extrinsic factors. There are three factors. Intrinsic and extrinsic factors influence motivation. These are we have two types of motivation. But there's something that actually those are the things that actually influence motivation. Intrinsic factors are the internal forces that motivate or compel an individual. And extrinsic factors are the external forces. For instance, employees use extrinsic factors such as bonuses or promotion to motivate. Employers use extrinsic factors such as bonuses or promotion to motivate employees to perform well on the job. At the same time, the individual may also be motivated by intrinsic factors such as an inner drive to succeed. Intrinsic factors include physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual needs and desires. Balancing each of these extrinsic and intrinsic factors in a classroom or work setting is important. There are factors that are actually driving students to succeed and that can help the student find direction and set goals. The first one is direction. Motivation requires direction. It is one thing to want to accomplish a goal, but it's another thing to actually to carry out the task by acting on the motivation. Directional motivation is the key momentum a person has to propel himself forward to accomplish his goal. There are three elements of motivation. Three elements of motivation. The first one is direction. The first one is direction. Directional motivation is the momentum a person has to propel himself forward towards to accomplish his goal. You must actually have what you are aiming at. You must what you are focusing, you must have direction. That's why the motivation requires direction. But when you okay, this is what I want you to do, but this is how I want you to do it. This is how we have to achieve it. That is direction. Direction is simply the goal that spurs the individual to action. A goal is actively chosen among a set of alternatives, whether the individual realizes it or not. The goal is determined by different influences, including extrinsic and intrinsic factors, which may contradict each other. For instance, an individual may have a natural inclination for introspection, but be motivated towards the highly social lifestyle for career advancement or social status. Students may need help in finding that goal or direction to drive their education options. While the child might guide the student to set goal and find their direction, the truly intrinsic goal setting process and achievement is personal. Students often succeed most when they take ownership and believe in themselves and the process. That is, whoever is intrinsically motivated will actually take ownership and believe in themselves, because what happens to them is actually from within. The propelling factor is actually from within, and they are likely to succeed most in their endeavors. The second element is intensity. Motivational intensity is defined as the strength of the tendency to either approach a positive situation or event, or to move away from a negative situation or event. Motivational intensity is defined as the strength of the tendency to either approach a positive situation or event, or to move away from a negative situation or event. That intensity will actually decide or give you the strength to actually retreat, or you surrender, or you forge ahead. In intensity is the strength of the response in the chosen direction. Intensity is the strength of the response in the chosen direction. When the first one is direction, so the intensity is now the strength of the response. Whether you want to, I said it earlier, whether you want to actually move forward, or you want to retreat, or you want to surrender. So that intensity is what will now is actually the strength in the choice. So typically there is a close relationship between intensity and the expectation of a desired outcome. And the expectation of a desired outcome. Intensity or motivational force depends on the individual's perception of the likelihood that effort will yield a certain result. This is true when whether or not perception is realistic. For instance, if an individual believes a race is imminent, it can be a motivator to pursue that goal with vigor, perhaps by staying late at work and increasing output. And you know that yes, the organization is actually going to increase, you are actually going to increase your emolument. Then that will serve as a motivator to be able to say that yes, everything that all work that is given to you, I have to ensure that it is completed and it's completed successfully. Even if it has to be you is giving more and staying late at work to achieve that. The next one is persistence. Persistence. That's number three. Persistence. Persistence is the duration with which a person expends energy and effort towards the direction of the goal. You have direction, then you have intensity and persistence. While intensity is actually the strength of the direction, persistence is the duration with which a person expends energy and effort towards the direction of a goal. The sustenance of behavior is influenced by the extrinsic and intrinsic factors. The factor that initially energized or initiated behavior may not necessarily be the same factor that sustains behavior and provide for persistence. For example, a student may be initially motivated to earn good grades in school. That is intrinsic. To receive an allowance at home. That is intrinsic. Over time, extrinsic motivation may be supplemented and replaced by intrinsic motivation if students discover that learning is fun. Yeah, okay. So sorry. For example, a student may be initially motivated to earn good grades in school to receive an allowance at home. That is extrinsic. That one is extrinsic motivation because the student is actually aiming at getting his allowance at home. He actually knows that yes, the only thing is for him to perform well and get a good grade for him to be able to get that allowance. The need to actually get the allowance is the propelling factor which will make the student to read more and earn a good grade. But when you get to the school, over time, extrinsic motivation may be supplemented or replaced by intrinsic motivation. If students discover that learning is fun and personally satisfying. So when you now get to the school, you now discover that yes, I didn't even know that yes, learning is fun like this. So you will now be more motivated to actually because this is fun and personally satisfying. You will be motivated by that and be ready to do more and achieve better results. That is actually replacement of with extrinsic with intrinsic motivation. Yes. So as far as motivation is concerned, we cannot just rule out the motivational influence in the performance and achievement of any given goal in any given establishment. Staff will be will be willing to do more if they are motivated either intrinsically or extrinsically. Because as far as an organization is concerned, most motivation in this thing is actually extrinsic because it is as a result of a play or those what we call very good welfare packages that actually will make staff to be able to want to do more to achieve a better result than usual so that at least the reward for achievement of a better reward will be extended to that person. In the TVC community, yes, our leaders are actually a motivator. People like Bitcoin Randy are actually a motivator. Anytime you listen and watch the video, you will actually be motivated to do more, to contribute more to the TVC community because of this. The same thing goes to the friendly marketer, David Jones, who is also a motivator and a very good lecturer. So they are all these people. If you are really following up with them, it's going to serve as another motivational factor or a propelling factor for you to be able to want to do more. We need motivators in the community. The community needs to be motivated, and that is what this admin is doing by this issue of 500% bonus that we have. It's a motivational factor. It's an extrinsic factor that is actually helping the community to grow. Because before the promotion, if a newly registered member comes into the community, you are only going to be given a free gift of 25,000 Pringles cookies as the case is now. But presently, with the 500% bonus, a new member will have 125,000 cookies as a free gift for registering in the community. What sort of motivation do we still need more than that? We need to be motivated. The TVC admin has actually agreed. They said yes, TVC 004.net wallet will be shut down by 31st. But admin has provided another opportunity for those that were not able to migrate their coin to still be able to migrate their coin upon payment of their $10 wallet fee. That's another motivational factor. It is just that, yeah, it is not still, so everyone hopes are not lost as far as the old coin and the old coin in the old wallet is concerned. That is another motivational factor. It is that motivational factor for a broadcaster that admin has actually put in place that is propelling people to want to do broadcast, because everything you do as a broadcaster is times 5 of the of what we call the normal, or the what I want to actually get to that to use the term basic member in the community. If you are a basic member in the community, what a broadcaster will have will be 5 times 5. It will be times 5 of whatever a basic member is entitled to. So that's another propelling factor. That's another motivational factor in the TVC community. TVC community is already doing more in the area of motivation, either for the new member or for the existing member in the community. If you are a broadcaster and you actually made a purchase of $100, the $100 purchase of Ringgold, the reward is 5 times that of, is even 10 times that of a basic member. So what other motivation do we still want in the community? TVC is already doing a lot in the area of motivation, and I want to salute the courage. I want to salute the effort of the TVC admin for that wonderful thing, because definitely you cannot, if you want people to actually put in their best, you want people to actually do more, you want people to actually go beyond the extra mile, then there must be a propelling factor. There must be something that will ginger them to be able to do more, and that is in the area of motivation. That is why I have to lay emphasis on motivation. You see, so leaders can also emulate the TVC admin in this area, and actually do something to encourage our followers, to encourage our team members who are actually looking up to us to do more in the community. They will be willing to do more in the community if there are in place some motivational factor or some motivational benefits that they will. So I want to employ all the leaders that we are looking up to actually look into the area of motivating their team members, their followers, to be able to do more in the area of broadcasting, in the area of membership growth, and all other area that is in the TVC community. So motivation is actually a propelling factor, and is one of the major and important elements in the development, the growth and development of the community, or in the achievement of any set target or goal. So our target to work with 1 billion community is not just a small target. So we need to actually motivate all members in the community to be able to do more. And I think admin is really doing best in this area without missing one. So we need to be motivated. Yes, we need to be motivated. But I'm still going to continue to look at some other area in the area of motivation, and in my next live video. Until then, until when I come your way again on another live broadcast, I still remain yours sincerely, Taufik Adeniyi Ayinla, signing out now and say God bless, peace.